Silent Hill: The Short Message, the latest offering from the infamous Konami and their newest sacrifice to the Silent Hill fanbase, Hexadrive. It's been a few days since the surprise release of Silent Hill: The Short Message, and I think it's safe to say that the game has received quite mixed acclaim from Silent Hill fans. Based on my own observations, there are those who responded to the game with either mixed to positive emotions because they were intrigued by the ideas and concepts that the developers were exploring within this title. Before us, we have a Silent Hill game set in a different country, during our current digital age, which is intended to portray the struggles and woes of growing up in an increasingly isolated, disconnected digital world where the looming presence of social media, social influence, and the internet are, ironically enough, omnipresent. While this is a very compelling concept for a Silent Hill game, it seems that most of us are reaching a consensus that the execution of these aforementioned ideas was middling to clumsy most of the time. The negative reception to this game is much more fascinating than the positive reception due to its implications and the insights it gives us into the mindset of Silent Hill fans and what it is they desire for the series going forward. Those who responded to the game negatively not only disliked the execution of these concepts, but disapproved of these concepts even existing within a Silent Hill game, many people citing that such concepts are incompatible with Silent Hill's mythos, themes, and lore. I've seen many YouTube comments of people saying things like, teenage Japanese suicide isn't Silent Hill, or it's not set in Silent Hill and there is no cult present, and if the cult isn't present, then it's not Silent Hill. At face value, this sentiment is understandable when we consider the fact that the Order, Silent Hill's cult, which appeared in the first game, functioned as a fundamental characteristic of Silent Hill's identity. But when we examine this claim more critically, it begins to fall apart, as the cult is absent from the most beloved game in the series, Silent Hill 2, the game that often overshadows all the other games, and one that people mistakenly postulate as Silent Hill's entire identity. There's no denying that the Silent Hill fanbase is divided and in disagreement about where the series should go next. Some desire a more faithful return to that old town blanketed in fog, while others desire to see the series venture elsewhere. I think that there's an approach that at least has the potential to interest everyone, and one that could possibly satisfy many. I'd like to dispel this narrative that concepts pertaining to our modern world and the digital era are antagonistic to traditional Silent Hill and the existence of a cult. In fact, I'd argue that these concepts can work in unison with one another, and that cults are more relevant now than they have been in a long time. Consider this. We're living in an age of human history characterized by moral confusion, rapid dissemination of information, misinformation, an unending barrage of tragedies and sensational stories we struggle to keep pace with and substantiate. With this increasingly divided and rapidly changing world, there are many that feel lost, isolated, disaffected, and overlooked by society. From within the dark depths of the internet, a hand is extended to them by a group that offers acceptance and knowledge that will put them ahead of the rest of the flock, bumbling about aimlessly, just following directions. These groups are founded upon alternative truths and facts, or more commonly known as conspiracy theories. A sense of community is found within these groups, but only as long as one subscribes to these alternate truths, abides by them, lives by them, having their worldview completely altered beyond the point of recognition. To become one with the tribe, one must see the world with new eyes. This could be the new Silent Hill. Imagine a game set in the modern world that focuses on a protagonist who is lonely, disaffected, ostracized from society in some way, uncertain of themselves, and the world around them, and yearning for a sense of belonging, purpose, and direction. On the internet, you discover a social group for people like you, one that offers answers to why society hasn't accepted you, and why the system and world is secretly rigged against you. Lingering beneath the surface are greater forces at play, unseen evils and corruptions influencing the sick world we all live in. This group believes there is a way to free the world from this sickness by recognizing the hidden evils within our most trusted institutions and removing them in some way. The group appeals to you, so you connect with them, and the journey begins. After meeting and befriending members of this group, they tell you of a place where you can escape the madness and corruption of the modern world, a place where a much simpler and more honest life can be cultivated. This place was known as Silent Hill, an old, abandoned, and dilapidated town once home to a thriving community. The group that you become a part of tells you that they had relatives that lived in Silent Hill long ago. They tell you that the group can go back to Silent Hill, rebuild it, restore it to its former glory, and that you can be a part of it all. You agree. Finally, a sense of belonging, a place to call home. After traveling to Silent Hill and partially rebuilding it, you find yourself deeply entrenched within the group's ideology and its doctrine. They tell you of a path towards salvation, one that will cleanse the world and transform it. You can be a part of this. You can be saved. But in order to do so, you must reconcile with the darkest parts of yourself and shed who you once were to be cleansed. You must see the world with new eyes. This is when you get introduced to the other world. Upon witnessing the horrors of the other world, you begin to realize the mistake that you've made by aligning yourself with this radical group, which leads to you trying to escape Silent Hill only to find that you've been trapped there. You then go looking for answers within the town, discovering that those within the group are the descendants of the Order, who want to resurrect the cult and their god that will bring about the apocalyptic transformation of the world that they promised you. Stricken with shame and guilt, you realize you helped build this. You were lured into this group, and you participated in the resurrection of the cult. You were a part of the cult. Now you have to stop it, or at least try to escape it. I think that this game would focus on themes of individuality, forging your own path, learning to think independently of a group, and the dangers of tribalism. This could be a compelling concept for a Silent Hill game, one that I'd like everybody to consider, especially those within the industry that may come across this video. It is just an idea, but it's one that I think would resonate with a lot of people.